This is Kathy Bryson, and I am with the Sandbox on Air today, and we are talking to Lori Castellano. Hi, Lori.
Hi, how you doing?
Fine, thanks. And with us also is Chris Demmons. He's
Good rainy afternoon.
We are checking in with people who have since moved on from St. Petersburg College, people who wrote for the newspaper, the Sandbox, find out how that helped them or not going forward in their future academic and working careers. You have done newspaper work. So you were doing some sports coverage. Where did I see that? With USF?
Yes.
You want to tell us about it?
Well, this is kind of after USF too. I was doing I did an internship with a PR firm in Miami, and I got that through LinkedIn.
Oh, okay.
I followed that. It was working with the Beef O'Brady's Bowl.
Okay.
And it was PR, and we did actually the newsletter for that, which was very. It was a great experience. I met a lot of people, and so it was a daily newsletter for the Beef O'Brady's Bowl.
I would imagine it would be really challenging keeping up with a daily schedule.
It was coverage before, during the week, and then post game. It was really interesting. It was a really fun experience, and I learned from that, and I made really good contacts, and I worked with the East-West Shrine game too, so that was fun, and I'm expecting to do that again. That's coming up in the end of the year, so I'm going to do some work with them again.
So making the transition from SPC to USF, how did that go?
I work full-time, so I tried to take as many classes as I could at St. Pete because of the schedule. Sometimes they offered better more classes, but once I couldn't take any more at St. Pete, I had to do all my studies at USF. It was good. The schedule was difficult because all their classes were pretty much during the day, but the transition was great.
Did you have any other advice for students who are transitioning?
Organization is very important, and everything's transitioning towards online and even hybrid classes. So even if you're taking a class, a lot of it is still, they want you to check in online, get your emails online. That was kind of difficult sometimes because I'm taking 3 classes, and sometimes you might miss a day to go online.
More and more responsibilities getting pushed back onto the student when it comes to touching base and staying in touch and remembering what's going on, and and if you get a teacher who's not real organized, you might have to be a little aggressive about following up on that. Chris and I were looking at your LinkedIn profile, and he was thinking that you worked as a court reporter for a while. I was thinking that you still had a business as a court reporter.
I'm doing a lot of different work right now, but I was a court reporter for many years. I'm actually marketing for a court reporting firm right now. I haven't updated my LinkedIn. But one thing I was going to say is that, to me, the most important thing, one of the most important things, is networking and building a LinkedIn profile. Because one of the classes at USF, senior seminar, it helped you, that's what it focused on, LinkedIn and your resume and getting all that ready. I already had LinkedIn, so I didn't have to worry about it as much as everyone else that was just starting it. But that is where you get most of your connections, is through LinkedIn. It's very powerful resource.
Especially if you're doing any kind of freelancing at all.
Exactly.
The other thing I wanted to talk about, and I thought this was really interesting because you said, well, maybe this wouldn't apply, but I think you're running into something that the rest of us really have, both people who are working, and I'm hearing it from students as well, which is that there's not neat, tidy career paths anymore.
It's very difficult to get a job, a good career, and I've tried, and not knowing what you really want sometimes. I thought I wanted to go into a corporate arena, and I started a job for about a month, and I didn't like it. It wasn't what I wanted. It wasn't the potential wasn't there that I thought was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And it was in the corporate area, and I did not like it. And so, you know, you don't know until you start experiencing it.
Right.
And so I'm at a place where I am working, doing things on the side, like I'm working in a law office part-time, trying to figure out what I like.
I think it's changed. Not only there are not a lot of jobs out there, and you know, probably for the past 5 years it's been really slow. But a lot of people, you're not the first person who I've heard say, I just don't like that particular job. I'm not going to spend time in it. Out of the 5 people we've talked to, 3 have gone in very different directions than where they started. They just want to do something that's more, they want to do something that was more fun. Well, one has continued on the more or less traditional journalism path, but everybody else was like, I want to do something more creative. So, not that journalists ever make up anything. I think that's interesting that people are really thinking about not only what kind of job, but what they want to do in that job.
You don't see a job anymore like you did in the past, like our parents did, where they stayed there 20, 30 years and retired somewhere.
See that anything that's besides networking, do you find any benefits to this kind of more freewheeling approach? So if one of the students are freaking out, I can't find a job, what do you tell them?
There's low points and low days and low times, and it's tough when you get rejection after rejection. And the problem is you're competing with so many people, and unless you know someone, you know, 200 applicants, they're not going to pick yours out of the stack unless someone helps them, says, hey, help. But I mean, to stay positive and diversify.
Yeah. And there's a lot of writing opportunities help increase your profile. So, you ever want to come back and put an alumni post to the Sandbox, you're more than welcome.
Oh, there you go. Actually, maybe something that's coming up I could do. That'd be great, or I could even talk about my experience in the past.
Thank you so much for taking the time in the middle of all this rainy, wet, you know, crazy, to come and talk with us, and we will be talking to you again.
Thank you.